Welcome to the French Newfie. What I'm going to show you how to make today is Caesar salad dressing, and it may seem intimidating, but it's not. And I was working in a hotel, a 5-star hotel, and the Caesar salad was the most popular item on the menu. So I was in charge for making the Caesar dressing. They take that very seriously. They use liters of olive oil and liters of vegetable oil. And a couple of times I actually split the Caesar salad dressing, so that was not good. I got in trouble a few times, but over time I perfected it. And instead of just serving a Caesar salad for your family or your friends with the store-bought Caesar dressing, there's something really special about making it yourself. And so I'm going to show you, we'll get started right away. So I have my mixer. You can do it by hand if you want, in a bowl, in a wooden bowl, but it's much easier these days when you have tools like this. So hopefully you have a kitchen mixer that I do. So we're gonna start with our garlic. And garlic is one of the most important ingredients in Caesar salad. And what I've done is I've actually roasted the garlic in the oven. And I did that this morning, so it's already done for me. You can see it's nice and caramelized. There's a little bit of color. It's not burnt. And the reason I put it in the oven and I caramelize it and roast the garlic is because if you put the raw garlic into your mixture, you can taste it. And if you ever chew into a piece of garlic, it is bitter and stingy and spicy. So without further ado, we'll get some garlic. Probably I'm going to use, there's more than 6, but I'm only going to use 6 cloves for this recipe. So get that down into your blender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And maybe 7. I'm feeling adventurous. So that's all done. And then we're gonna start with our egg yolks. And you need to have, or you should use pasteurized egg yolks, especially if you're making the Caesar dressing, or free-range organic eggs. And that's what I have today. So 2 large egg yolks, and we're gonna put that into the mix as well. And then we need Dijon mustard. And the reason for that is it's gonna cause an emulsion, and you need that so that your oil won't split the salad dressing. So again, we're gonna use about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Let me just get that in there like that. And I'm gonna use 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, just like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna turn it on. We're gonna turn it on for about 1 minute. To get everything incorporated, you want it to start to emulsify, and you also need to chop that roasted garlic and get the mixture going. Okay, and now that that is done, we're going to continue on with the rest of our ingredients. And now I'm going to add anchovies. And I know a lot of people dislike anchovies. It's an excellent ingredient, especially when you're making a sauce or a tomato sauce, or in this example, the Caesar dressing. And it's important. It's salty. You wouldn't even know, and many of you probably don't realize that Caesar dressing includes anchovies. And so that's what I'm going to do and show you. I have some nice store-bought anchovies that are packed in oil. And so I'm going to use about 5 anchovies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to be using oil, and I have that measured as well. So just try and shake off any oil that is on the anchovies. Of course, if you have some, that's fine as well. So the anchovies are going to go in along with lemon juice. And please take the time to squeeze the lemon juice. The store-bought kind, I don't even know how they sell it. It's not good. Have a little squeezer or squeeze it with your hand. This recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Take the time to squeeze the lemon. And so we're going to get that in there with the anchovies and the rest of our mixture. And that's about 2 tablespoons gone in. Okay. And so again, we're going to put the cap back on, and we're going to blitz this again for another minute. Okay, and so now we're going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of seasoning, not too much because the anchovies are very salty. So we're just gonna put a little bit, like a half of a teaspoon of salt will go in. And if you wanna use a teaspoon to measure it, that's fine as well. I've just been doing it so often that I kind of know my measurements. And a little bit of cracked black pepper. The same thing, about a half a teaspoon you want of the pepper. And we're going to put, the cap is already on, and so a little bit of hot sauce. And it depends on what you like, what kind of hot sauce you prefer, but I like Tabasco, so it's gonna be Tabasco. Just a couple of drops, not too much. It's not hot Caesar dressing, but it does add to it, so you wanna add a little bit of hot sauce. And now what we're going to do before we turn it on, I just wanna explain that we have the olive oil and vegetable oil. And in order for this not to split, which I learned the hard way a couple of times, is you need to drizzle it slowly. And there's already the emulsification that's inside, and as you drizzle it slowly, it's gonna incorporate, it's gonna thicken, and it's gonna become that delicious Caesar salad that we all love. So it's gonna be a little bit of a process, but it will come together tightly and you'll see. There, and so that's been going for a couple of minutes because as you saw, we need to really take our time so that the Caesar dressing does not split. And let me just take this off and give it a try. So, let's see. Oh my gosh, wow, you have to try this. It's a perfect balance. It's a really, really good recipe, so I hope you followed along. And now what I'm going to do is also add some Parmesan cheese. So I would have to say that the anchovy, the Parmesan cheese, and the garlic are the three main ingredients. So instead of mixing it in like this, I've grated some earlier today. I'm just gonna add that in and give it a little stir, like that. You want about a cup of Parmesan. It's also gonna have a little bit of texture that'll grab onto your lettuce leaves, so that's nice. So just give it a little twirl around, just like that, and it's starting to look like the Caesar dressing that we've all had before. Probably not anything that tastes or resembles like the bottled stuff, and this is what makes it so special. I mean, to say that you made your own Caesar dressing would just wow everyone. All right, so let me just get this off to the side. And now what I'm gonna do is make croutons. And croutons are important for a Caesar salad. And everyone has that leftover baguette from the night before. I mean, baguettes are great to have it for entertaining. And you're usually left with lots of baguette because people tend to stay away from the bread. And I have a really nice baguette left over from last night's dinner. And you can see there was not much use of the baguette, but that means leftovers today. And you do want day-old crusty bread, so it's perfect. I'm just gonna get some butter down into my pan that's been turned on, just like this. And we're going to cut the baguette, but I wanna make it more even and easier for me to do, so just cut the edges off. We're not gonna use too much bread. That would be enough. And we're gonna get it chopped up and into our beautiful butter. I like big croutons, and that way you're also using less, but it looks really pretty in the salad. So some nice big croutons. And it's brown bread. It's whole grain bread, so it's healthy. It's not so much when we add the butter, but it's gonna be a really nice Caesar salad. Some nice chunky bread chunks like that. Perfect. Our butter is melting away. Okay, and there we go. And that's perfect. Now, the butter is melting and bubbling, and so into the pan go your croutons. And again, it makes the salad even more special because you're using homemade croutons. Not just that store-bought kind that's so crispy it hurts your teeth. It's brittle, it's like cardboard. Make your own, it's much easier. So just give it a little toss. And if one comes out, just pop it back in. Give it a little toss in the butter so that it's all nice and buttery and delicious. And the Caesar dressing is salty enough, so I'm not gonna add any salt to this. Let me just clean my board a little bit. And Caesar salad is great. It's so versatile. I make it all the time. And this Caesar dressing can store in your fridge for up to a week. And I like to mix up my Caesar salads. So today what I've done is earlier I roasted off some calamari. And I love calamari or putting seafood on my Caesar salad. You can put salmon, was one of the first things I experimented with, and that's delicious as well. Or shrimp, or you can have a mixture of seafood. And then of course the famous chicken Caesar salad, which is also really, really tasty. So it's versatile. You can make it and switch it up, put your variations, or you don't have to have any meat on it. You know, it would just be the vegetarian Caesar salad, classic Caesar salad. Yeah, so Caesar salad's great. And while these are roasting up, I'm just gonna bring my plate over so everyone can see that earlier I have just sliced up the romaine lettuce. You need to have romaine, that's important. And the croutons are almost done. And this is the Caesar dressing that I have off to the side that we just made. That's gonna be a batch for the next couple of days. And I already have some that was in my fridge. So this is my delicious homemade Caesar dressing. And I'm just gonna put that down, spoon it down over the lettuce leaves. It's so delicious and creamy and thick with every bite. Your friends or family or even yourself, you're all just really gonna enjoy this. And people will be asking you for the recipe. And now, I like to put a lot of Caesar dressing. Some people like less, I like a lot. There we go. Turn the bread croutons off. They're nice and crispy now. They have lots of butter in them. They're brown. It's really pretty. I'm gonna take the nice calamari that I fried up earlier, and we're gonna put that on as well. So you can see this is really, really nice. It's not just your average Caesar salad. And the dressing is the star. People are gonna be really amazed that you made your own Caesar dressing. Some nice calamari. That's enough. And then you have the croutons. So a couple scattered here and there is lovely as well. There you go. Beautiful brown croutons. This is actually pretty, it looks like a healthy Caesar salad. And if you're having it for dinner, it's a salad. So, you know, you don't have to feel too guilty about these buttery croutons. If you didn't want to use the butter, you could use olive oil. But butter just makes everything better. Okay, and if you want to, what you can do is take some Parmesan shavings. Just make sure that you have a sharp knife. So take the sharp knife and just cut down so that you get nice shavings like so. And yeah, if I had more room, I would be able to show you, but you get the idea. So you have the Parmesan flakes and flake that over. It's really nice. Nice to bite into the buttery Parmigiano Reggiano. And that is a nice meal, Caesar salad. And I'm just gonna try taste to be sure. Lots and lots of that Caesar dressing because it is so good and it's homemade.